Oh, hey guys, it is episode 73, so I wanted to play my favorite song from 1973, Dire Maker from Led Zeppelin. This episode is all about hyperbitcoinization. So, what do we mean by that? Well, I've been talking about ETFs. I think ETFs are going to be the big story for the next 3 years. But I think if we look a little bit further out, I think within 8 to 10 years from now, certainly by the end of the decade, I think we're going to see the beginning of a light that is hyper-Bitcoinization. And what does that look like? Well, I thought we could take a look at how many kind of active wallets are out there, but also just take another look at the app, I think, which is really going to define hyper-Bitcoinization, which is Instagram, okay? So let's take a look at the Instagram growth to 1 billion users. Well, if you look at this, okay, we had 1 million users of Instagram in December 2010, right? Now, once you get to like mid 2011, you get to about 10 million users, right? Now, that's kind of where I think Bitcoin is right now. That's kind of this 10 million thing. But this is one app from one company that a lot of people here use. I don't personally use it, but, my wife does. So 10 million users, and now in 2018, it hit 1 billion users, right? So it went up 100x inside of 7 years, right? And now it's currently at 2 billion users, right? So this is actual monthly active users, of Instagram. So, Neil Kashkari is like, this Bitcoin is Amazon in 2004, whatever. These things sometimes spurt out, and it takes them a decade or two to spurt out. I think there's a lot of cases for why I would think that Bitcoin could hyper Bitcoinize inside of the next, could start the hyper Bitcoinization inside of the next 10 years. So, what would that take? I think what it would take, first of all, let's just take a look at where we are now. If we look today, right? Today we've risen, this is a number of addresses with a balance greater than $100 online. Now, there's more people who hold Bitcoin on Coinbase on this, on Binance, but here we have 20 million accounts online that have Bitcoin balance greater than $100, and with balance bigger than $1,000, the number is about 10 million. And by the way, both of these are very clear power laws. You plot them, they get 98% correlation. So it's very clear that the growth trajectory of Bitcoin right now is, whether you want to call it exponential right now or power laws, either way, right? It's pretty consistent and pretty fast, right? Now, what would it take to make it go back to kind of this kind of level of hyper growth, right, that we saw with Instagram? I think what it would take is adoption by the big seven, right? So Amazon, Instagram, for Facebook, Meta, right? Apple, Tesla. I think we are increasingly living in a digital world, and if the digital giants adopt Bitcoin, I think we do start seeing 1 billion users within 10 years, right? And otherwise, I think it might take 20 years to see 1 billion users. So I think this is the biggest determinant of growth. Not even going to be the ETFs. It's going to be how many people jump into this because it's offered on Apple, at Meta, or on Amazon. If you can buy things on Amazon with your Bitcoin, we're going to have a ton of people use actually wallets on Bitcoin. So I just want to mention a few of my favorite wallets for this. I think, first of all, Cash App. If you don't use it, you should use it. They've done a great job. And as you can see, you can send and spend your bank $1.5, and you can buy stocks or Bitcoin with one app. I fundamentally think that Elon's going to be in this business within a year. He got the money license. I think he's going to do it. So I think Elon's going to do it. I also think Meta will do it. And I think if those guys do it, if they're leading, I think Apple, Google, and Amazon will also do it. So I expect this kind of level of buy stocks or Bitcoin with your with any of these big internet apps, I think will happen within the next 5 years. I also want to point out David Marcus's comment, kind of startup Lightspark, open payments for the internet. So, does this happen on Lightning? Maybe. Does it happen on some other L2? Maybe. I don't know. Does it happen just through custodial apps like Cash App? Perhaps, right? I'm not sure what the protocol is to do this, but it's possible, right? Cash App works well. This Lightspark is serious. It was, selected by Coinbase for their Lightning provider. So I definitely think this thing is on the table. And I do think that this could happen sort of by the end of the decade. I think people are going to be talking about hyper-Bitcoinization a lot. Now, what does this mean, I think, for other chains? I think a lot of those other chains, whether it's ETH or Solana or something else, are going to be at sort of transport layers for this L2. But I'm more interested actually in apps, right? Because we saw this thing with Instagram. From a consumer kind of perspective, it's going to be some app like Instagram that's going to win, because consumers don't want to use MetaMask. They don't, and so they're not going to use Lightspark either. That's an enterprise solution that's for businesses. So, anyways, I think hyper-Bitcoinization's on the menu. I don't think ETFs are going to stop it, or I think they're going to help. I think they're going to help drive awareness of Bitcoin. But I do think Bitcoin is a unit of account, and I'm just going to summarize this by what Larry Lepard said on one of my podcasts. He said, I fundamentally think my kids are going to be using sats. And so I agree. I think the Satoshi will be the unit of account of the world in every app, in everything, online, offline, everything in the next 20 years. So I'm a believer in hyper-Bitcoinization. And with that, I'm going to end this episode. Thanks for watching.